चैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितांस्तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत नमोस्तुते। तप्तकांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं। नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगवराय ते। हरे कृष्ण। So I seek blessings of all devotees so that I can speak something glorifying our one of the important Acharya, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So, is it okay if we go a little bit more? Is it okay if we go a little bit more? Yeah. Okay. So, on Disappearance of Srila Haridas Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, "He reasons ill who tells that Vaishnavas die. When thou art living still in sound, the Vaishnavas die to live, and living try to spread holy name around." We see that this particular saying, life of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, is personification of this particular stanza. You know that he was generally on appearance disappearance days we discuss how he was born, how he was raised. Today I thought we'll focus on another aspects of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's life. He was a perfect householder. He raised 12 kids. He was perfect magistrate. Even the Britishers, they laid down the whole new railway track so that he cannot, he wanted to leave the job, but they said, okay, we'll arrange all the logistic, but please remain. He was a perfect magistrate. He was a perfect administrator as a, Jagannath Puri's temple management. He did it so nicely. He was perfect mediator. Wherever there used to be quarrels among different groups of people, he was the one who was called, and whatever he would give solution, everybody would agree, right? He was a prolific writer, wrote so many Vaishnava songs, so many books. The first book which came to West about Lord Chaitanya, the life and precepts of Lord Chaitanya, it was written by him. So he was very prolific writer. He's an amazing preacher. He started this concept of Namahatta, managing his family, managing his job. He used to run 64, I guess, Namatta centers around Nadia. So, very amazing preacher. And above all, he was a pure devotee of Lord Chaitanya. So, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is such an important Acharya. He gave many invaluable gifts to whole Vaishnava community. He was the one who took painstaking efforts to find the actual birthplace of Lord Chaitanya, which he later, confirmed with the help of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. So, and then it is said that he went house to house and he begged, 1 rupee that time, and that way he built this temple of Lord Chaitanya in Yogapit. Was it that he was not capable of funding it? He was magistrate. He could have just, contacted a few people. But he wanted everybody to get benefit. It is said that at that time, there was a newspaper in Calcutta which published an ad. It said that Kedarnath Dutt, he is building this temple in Yogapit, and he is requesting everybody to help with the construction. Those who are fortunate, please come forward and help him. So that was his, a gift to all the Vaishnava community. Not only that, the another gift is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He prayed for ray of Vishnu. He prayed somebody. He saw the condition of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, which was reduced to beggar's religion. But then he prayed very strongly, and then came Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, whom he trained so expertly that later he founded the whole Gaudiya mission and inspired, Srila Prabhupada. So that was his gift. Then, so many books he wrote. Different commentaries on Nectar of Devotion, Bhagavad Gita, and Upadeshamrut. Very nicely. He even wrote dramas so that, people could read and relate easily. And one of the most important gift that he gave is Vaishnava songs. Because people in those ages, in those days, not everybody was philosophical. Many common people. So to preach them, he wrote these songs which are like, very nectarine to hear. At the same time, they are full of tattva, full of philosophical truths. So we know that, starting from like, Jiva Jago, morning, Udila Aruna Purava Bhage, Vibhavari Shesha, Yeshomati Nandana, every day we sing, right? Jaya Radha Madhava, and Kiba Jayo, Jayo Gaura, Chande, Gaurarti, Bhogarti, Bhajabha Katavatsala Shri Gaurahari. Our most favorite prayer, Mahaprasade Govinde. It's all written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, actually. So this is the amazing contributions of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So, out of many books which he wrote, especially the Vaishnava songs, the main are Kalyan Kalpataru, Sharanagati, Gitavali, then there is a Baula Sangeet, there is Shri Godruma Chandra Bhajanopadesh, then Shri Krishna Chandra, Seva Vilas, and some poems. So today we will discuss from his songs, from Sharanagati, wherein he tells the 6 principles of surrender in a very lucid manner. Since we have heard his biography, how he was raised and his different pastimes, I thought we'll focus on his teachings today. So in Hari Bhakti Vilas, it is said, अनुकूल्यस्य संकल्प प्रतिकूल्यस्य वर्जनं रक्षति इति विश्वासो गोतृप्ते वर्णं तथा आत्मनिक्षेप कार्पण्यो षड्विधा शरणागतिः. So it details out 6 principles of surrender. So the first one is anukulyasya sankalpa, that whatever is desirable for Krishna consciousness, we should accept that. So there are multiple songs he wrote to establish this principle. And if we see, of course, like is such an ocean that we can discuss for weeks actually, you know. So I'll try to condense it. So this songs, they will discuss 2 songs about anukulyasya sankalpa. So the first one is शुद्ध भक्त चरण रेणु भजने अनुकूल भक्त सेवा परम सिद्धि प्रेम लतिकार मूल. I'll first go through the song and then we'll discuss the translation. माधव तिथि भक्ति जननी जतने पालन कोरी कृष्ण वसति वसति बोली परमादरे बोरी गौरामार्ये सब स्थाने कोरिलो भ्रमण रंगे से सब स्थान हेरिल बो आमी प्रणयी भक्त संगे. So he starts with what are anukulyasya sankalpa, what are the favorable things? Shuddha bhakata charana renu, the dust from the lotus feet of pure devotees. You know, they said bhaktapada jala bhaktapada dhulyara bhaktapada jal bhakta bhukta avashesha tina mahabal. So the lotus feet, dust of lotus feet of devotees, the water washed from his lotus feet, and the Maha Prasad, very favorable for devotional service. Example of Narad Muni, Uchchisto lepa anumodito, right? That verse comes in first canto of Bhagavatam. Narad Muni took the remnants of the Mahabhagavatas and it sprouted the pure devotion in his heart. So he's listing that then. Bhakta seva parama siddhi. The service to Vaishnavas is supreme perfection and is the root of all tender creeper of divine love. So all these teachings of Bhagavatam, we see that he has so beautifully strung it in the form of this Vaishnava songs, right? Then Madhavatiti, that Ekadashi, following Ekadashi, says that it is the mother of devotion. Then he is saying that the pastimes of Lord Krishna, you know, those places, they are also very important, like Dhamavas, right? So the 64 principle of devotional service, if we see, the 5 important: studying Srimad Bhagavatam, residing in holy places, then associating with devotees, then worshipping the deities and chanting the holy names, right? So he is, you know, mentioning that then wherever Lord Gaurasundar traveled, he said, I'll visit those places of pastimes, dhams. So this way then he speaks about, you know, Yugala Murti dekhiya mora paramananda hoya prasad seva karite hoya sakala prapancha jaya. Beholding the form of divine couple Shri Shri Radha Krishna, I feel greatest joy, and by honoring Lord's prasad I conquer all worldly illusions. I think we all will agree on that, right? So this way he is describing. Then he speaks about Tulsi Maharani, you know. Tulsi dekhi judaya prana madhava to shani jani gaura priya shaka sevane jivana sarthakamani. The sight of holy Tulsi soothes my souls, you know. See, like, you know, every day we do Tulsi Aarti and worship, right? So like this, he is describing the things which are conducive to devotional service. Bhaktivinoda Krishna bhajane anukula paya jaha prati divase paramya sukhe svikara koretaha. So he said, whatever Bhaktivinoda Thakur sees favorable for service of Krishna, he accepts every day with greatest joy. So for us also, we should accept it with greatest joy. Sometimes initial days, it's like person with a jaundice drinking sugarcane juice is bitter, but that is the solution. So same way, we may find this anukulasya sankalpa, these things which are favorable to Krishna consciousness, sometimes bitter, especially staying in association and serving, because everybody has their own anarthas, and then when they come out, then it's a little difficult, but we take it because that's what will purify us. So this is the first principle. Then it's not only that, within these songs, the level of his prayers, they go more and more intensified. There is another song, Radha Kunda Tata Kunja Kutira Govardhana Parvata Yamuna Tira Kusuma Sarovara Manasa Ganga Kalindi Nandini Vipula Taranga Vamshivata Shashangokul Dhira Samira Vrindavana Taru Latika Banira. So he is listing all the things in Vrindavan Dham, because again, Anukulyasya Sankalpa, whatever is favorable, right? So he is saying that all this, Radha Kund, then Govardhan Hill, Yamuna River, Vamshivat, then the creepers of Vrindavan, the birds, the peacocks, the bumblebees, the pastimes places, different pastime places, all this is Yugala Vilasa Anukula Jani Leela Vilase Uddipakamani. That all these pastime places I know are very favorable for Lord's pastimes, and I recognize them as transcendental stimulus for intensifying Lord's pastimes. She is aspiring to be, in those places. And then what he says, Ye sab chodata kahin nahi jaun, Ye sab chodata parana haraun, Bhaktivinoda kohe shuno kana, Tua uddipaka hamara parana. He said, I refuse to go anywhere if these devotional services are not there. For to abandon them is like abandoning life itself. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur prays, please hear me, O Krishna, O Kana. All these things that simulate your remembrance are very source of my life. So this is how beautifully he speaks about first principle, that is Anukulyasya Sankalpa. Then second is Pratikulyasya Varjanam, giving up the things which are not conducive for devotional service. Again, he has 4 beautiful songs, out of which we will discuss 2. One is Keshava Tua Jagata Vichitra Karama Vipake Bhavamana Brahmaye Pekhauna Ranga Bahu Chitra. So, how the translation goes is that he is praying to Krishna that, O Keshava, this material world is very astonishing, vichitra, is strange. I have roamed through the forest of this universe in consequence of my selfish acts, and I have beheld many curious sights. Forgetfulness of your lotus feet, which is bitter suffering unto death, burns me with his scorching pain. In this helpless condition, my would-be saviors, the philosophers Kapila, Gautama, Kanada, Jaimini, and Buddha have come running to my aid. So he's actually speaking in a what they call it, sarcastic way, right? So actually he's rejecting all these philosophies, 6 systems of philosophy given by these sages, and then it comes, each expounds his particular view, dangling various pleasures and liberation as a bet in their philosophical traps. But all of them are just bogus cheaters, being averse to your devotional service, and therefore souls of fatter danger. So, pratikulyasya varjanam, giving up the things which are not conducive. This is so nicely, he covered the whole gamut of philosophical speculations and arguments in 2 verses. So that's called as eloquence, that in 2 verses he just kicked everything out, saying that this is all bogus, dangling carrots. And therefore what he says is that, not only that, now he is coming to karma jnana, every one of them are cunning experts of karma, jnana, yoga and tapa, who provide various kinds of tempting bet for cheating the souls who are averse to you. Having paid his respects to these cheating philosophers from afar, from a distance, he's saying, I am paying my obeisances to all these personalities. Bhaktivinoda takes refuge at the feet of your devotees as the essence of life. So not only he rejects, but he is also emphasizing again anukulya. What is? Vimukha vachane bhakta so sabu nirmalo vividha pasara dandavat duribo bhaktivinoda belo bhaktera charana kori sara. So he says bhaktera charana kori sara. The essence is, it takes refuge at feet of your devotees. So this is like, pratikulyasya varjanam. He is rejecting those things which are not favorable. Now these are very on gross platform, but he goes further, wherein he says that there is another song, Amito Swananda Sukhi Basi Radhika Madhava Charana Dasi Dura Milana Ananda Kori Dhanya Viyoga Dukhera Mari. So he says that we are the resident of Swananda Sukhada Kunja, and we are the maid servant of lotus feet of Radhika and Madhava. So he said, we reject even Sakhistali, that is the place where Chandravali's, Radharani's competitor, stays. So he is even rejecting that, pratikulyasya varjanam. He is like, of course, very high consciousness for, pure devotional service, but he takes to that level. So that is the second principle he talks about. The third principle, go trupta varnam tatha. That is, Krishna will, take care of my being, my maintenance, So that is the third principle. So another beautiful song he sings for that. Sarvasva tomar charane sampiya padiche tomar ghare tumi to ठाकुर tomar kukur bhuliya jana more. So where it went, 1 second. So it says that, now that I have surrendered all that I possess unto your lotus feet, I throw myself down at your house. You are my master. Kindly consider me as your dog, Bandhiya nikate amare palibe rohibo tomar dware pratipajane re asitena dibo rakhibo gader pare. So chanting nearby, chaining me nearby, you will maintain me, and I shall lie at your doorstep. I will not allow your enemies to enter your house. तव निज जन प्रसाद सेविया उच्छिष्ट राखिबे जहाँ अमार भोजन परमानंदे प्रतिदिन हबे तहाँ. Whatever food remnants your devotees leave behind after honoring your prasad, that will be my daily substance. I will feast on those remnants in great bliss. बोसिया सुनिया तोमार चरण चिंतिबो सतत आमी नाचिते नाचिते निकटे जाइबो जाखोन दाखिबे तुमी. So he said, while sitting up, playing down, I'll constantly meditate on your lotus feet, and whenever you will call, I'll immediately run to you and dance in reciprocation. निजेर पोषण कबुना बाभिबो रोहिबो भावेर भोरे भक्ति विनोद तोमार पालक बोलिया वरन कोरे. I'll never think of my own nourishment and will remain absorbed in ever cherishing love for my master. Bhaktivinoda now accept you as his only maintainer. So this is the third principle. So beautifully he is mentioning about Gotrupta Varanam Tatha, that Krishna is the only maintainer. Then the next principle, fourth, is Atma Nikshepa, that is surrendering fully, to Lord. So again, beautiful way he mentions, मानस देहो गेहो जो किछु मोर अर्पिलु तू आपदे नंद किशोर. He said, Manasa, my mind, Deho, my body, Geho, family, and Jo Kichu, whatever else I have surrendered at your lotus feet, O Nanda Kishore, the son of Maharaj Nanda. संपदे विपदे जीवने मरने दे माम गेला तुआ उपद वरने मारो भी राखो भी जो इच्छा तोहार नित्य दासा प्रति तू अधिकार. Said, in good fortune or bad, in life or death, in all difficulties, all my difficulties have disappeared by accepting your lotus feet as my only shelter. And he says, either you protect me if you like, or you destroy me if you like. I am your eternal servant. You have full authority on my existence. So like this, keep going again, this जन्म ओ बिमोएच्छा जदि तोर भक्त ग्रह जानी जन्म हुआ मोर. If it is wish that I be born again, let me take birth in the home of devotees. So like this he goes on, and then he says that जनक जननी दयित तनय प्रभु गुरु पति तुहु सर्वमोय. You are my father, mother, lover, son, lord, preceptor, husband, everything. You are for me. And he said, Bhaktivinoda kohe suno kana radhanath tuha hamara parana. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, O Kana, please hear me, O Lord of Sri Radha, you are my life and soul. So this is the fourth principle. He speaks about Atma Nikshepa. Another beautiful psalm is this, Atma Nivedan Kari tu apade Hoinu Parama Sukhi Dukha dure gelo chinta na rahilo चोरी के आनंद देखी. I have become supremely happy by surrendering myself at your lotus feet. Sorrow has gone far away, and there is no more cares. All I see is joy in four directions. So again, he goes in detail in this song as well. But the principle of Atma Nikshepa, that is, so beautifully mentioned. Then the last two, so the last but one is Karpanya. Karpanya meaning showing one's humility, So that is another beautiful song. This is actually, he's depicting the life of a sadhaka, Amar jivan sada pape rata nahi ka punyera lesha pare re udvega diyachi je ko to diyachi jivera klesha निज सुख लागी पापे नाही डरी दयाहीन स्वार्थ पर सुखे दुखी सदा मिथ्या भाषी पर दुःख सुख कर. So he is showing this mood of humility, karpanya. How we show humility. We don't go and say somebody that, hey, I am a billionaire, I am a beautiful, no, that's not the way. We tell the what we are, how we are fallen, and that's how, oh Krishna, I am most fallen, I need your mercy, I need devotees' mercy. That's how we show our humility. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, oh, Amar Jivan Sada Paperata, my life is all full of sin, sada paperata, and there is not even a drop of, pious activity. Is that true? No, he's speaking for us, for me, I can say, speaking for him. So, and then he's saying that, I am always, for my sake of enjoyment, pape nahi dari, nije sukha lagi, for my enjoyment, I am ready to, kill others, do whatever, is required. And if somebody is unhappy, I am very happy. And if somebody is happy, I am very unhappy. That is my condition. So this is the way actually showing that, oh Krishna, I am very fallen. And he goes on actually, is Ashesha kamana ridhi maje mora krodhi dambha parayana madamatta sada vishaye mohita himsa garva vibhushana. So there are limitless material desires within my core of my heart. Such a true statement actually. Limitless material desires. Each desire leading to another life. So limitless life awaiting for me. Spring like that. That is, showing Atman, Karpanya, like showing the humility. And then what is saying that? I am wrathful, fond of exhibiting arrogance, intoxicated by vanity, and bewildered by worldly affairs. And I think that envy and ego are my ornaments. Those are my profile pictures in today's world. What ego and envy. So this is how he's showing he's teaching us. He's not showing. He's already humble. He's Nitya Siddha, right? Nidralasya hata sukarye virata akarye udyogi ami pratishtha lagi ashadhya acharana lobha hata sadakami. Ruined by laziness and sleep, I resist all pious deeds. Yet I am very enthusiastic to perform wicked acts. For the sake of worldly fame and reputation, I engaged in practice of deceitfulness. I am victimized by my own greed, being always lustful. Yehana durjana sajjana varjita aparadhi nirantara shubha karye shunya sadanartha mana nana dukhe jara jara. A vile wicked man such as this, rejected by godly people, is a constant offender, devoid of all good works, forever inclined towards evil. He is worn out and washed by various miseries. बार्धक्ये ये खोन उपाये विहीन ताते दिन किंचन भक्ति विनोद प्रभुर चरणे कोरे दुख निवेदन. Now in an old age, deprived of all means of release, this humbled and poor Bhaktivinoda submit his tale of grief at the feet of Supreme Lord. Actually, he's saying, he's teaching all of us to submit this plea. He's praying on our behalf. So this is how he is teaching us how to show this karpanya. Another beautiful song. Actually, we don't have time. I'll just ये मोने दुर्मति संसार भीतरे पोडियाची आनु आमी तव निज जन कोन महाजने पाठियाला दिया तुम्ही. O Lord, with such a wicked mind as this, I have fallen into material world, but you have sent one of your pure and elevated devotees to rescue me. So we can see that at our leisure. And then the last principle about hankering that he speaks about, sorry, this was actually like, Karpande, that was the last principle. And with once all this we surrender in all these 6 aspects, what happens? We develop hankering for Lord and His holy names. So again, like 2 beautiful songs. One about Lord's pastimes. Kabe gauravane suradhuni tate ha radha ha Krishna bole kandiya bedi bo dekho shukla chadi nana lata taru tale. When will I wander, weeping under the shades of various trees and creepers on the banks of celestial Ganga river in land of Navdvip, crying, O Radha, O Krishna, and all forgetting physical comforts. So he is now hankering for these things. So we can go over that. And then the last prayer he speaks is about hankering for chanting the holy names. Kabe habe bolo se dinamar aparadha ghuchi shuddha nama ruchi krupa bale habe hridaye sanchar तृणाधिकहीन कबे निजमानी सहिष्णुता गुण हृदये ते आनी सकले मानद आपनी अमानी होय स्वादिबो नाम रससार कबे हबे बोलो से ये दीनामार. So he's praying to Lord, oh Lord, when that day will come, when my offenses will come to an end and I'll test the pure holy names, of Lord. Then what exactly he prayed in the Amar Jivan Sadapa Pirita, it's exactly opposite. He said, Trunadika hina kabe nijamani, when I'll feel myself lower than the blade of grass, welcoming the quality of forbearance into my heart and giving honor to all living beings and being freed from false pride, when will I taste the essence of liquid nectar of holy name? We'll just go through these 4 verses and then we'll stop. And he says, Dhana janara kavita sundari boli bona chai deho sukha kari janme janme dao ohe gaurahari ahe tu ki bhakti charane tomar kabe habe bolo se ye dinamar. So when that day will come, when I'll not want this, dhana janara, I don't want wealth, followers, beautiful woman, like, we chant every day, Shikshashtakam, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. Same thing he's praying. When that day will come, when I'll not want all these bodily pleasures, when that day will come, when you will give me the unmotivated devotion at your lotus feet, birth after birth, Korite Sri Krishna nama ucharana पुलकित देहो गद गद वचन वैवर्ण्य वे पाथु हबे संकटन निरंतर नेत्रे भबे अश्रुधार कबे हबे बोलो से दीनामार. When I'll chant the names of Lord Krishna, when my body will be thrilled in ecstatic, devotion symptoms, when it will start exhibiting them. When will my words choked with emotion? When the ecstatic trembling occur, when I'll chant your holy names, when that day will come. He's hankering when that day will come. Kabe navadvipe suradhuni tate गौर नित्यानंद बोली निष्कपटे नाचिया गाइया बैडा बीरो छूटे बातुलेर प्राय छाड़िया विचार कबे हबे बोलो से दीनामार. When in the land of Navadvip on the banks of celestial Ganga will I run about incessantly crying out, O Gaura, O Nityananda, dancing and singing wonder like a madman, giving up all consideration of social behavior. Kabe Nityananda more koridoya chadaibe more vishayera maya diya more nija charanera chaya namera hate te dibe adhikar kabe habe bolo se dinamar. Saying, when Lord Nityananda be merciful unto me and release me from this illusion of worldliness, when he'll give me the shade of his own lotus feet and bestow upon me the qualification necessary to enter the marketplace of holy name. Kini boluti bo hari namarase mate hai bo vivash rasera rasika charana parasha koriya maji bo rase ani bar kabe habe bolo se dinamar. Somehow or other I shall buy or steal the mellows of the holy name of Lord Hari. Becoming thoroughly intoxicated by these mellows, I'll be stunned by touching the lotus feet of these great souls who are expert in releasing these mellows. I'll constantly immersed in the sweet nectar of holy names. Kabe jibadaya hoibe udaya nija sukha bhuli sudina hridaya bhakti vinoda koriya vinaya shri agyata hala koribe prachar kabe habe bolo se dinamar. When will there be an awakening in me, compassion for all fallen souls? Then this Bhaktivinoda will forget his own happiness and with meek heart he'll set out propagate the humble solitude, propagating the holy name and the sacred order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So with this prayer, we pray to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur that this, out of his many teachings, especially the Sharanagati, the 6 principles of devotion, we may be able to imbibe, at least I can say for myself. And one day we develop this hankering about the holy name, Jivadaya, Namaruchi and Vaishnav Seva. One day we develop hankering for this holy name of Lord, for serving orders of spiritual master and getting attraction and entrance into Lord's pastime. So with this, I would like to stop. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Tirobhav Mahamotsav ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi.